Good
Hey.
evening, good whatever it is to you.
Can we see in the chat who's long, who's short? What are you guys trading? Where are we? What's happening? And did anyone take the trades we gave yesterday? Can you let us know? Morning from Quebec. That's Canada. Someone took FDM, General Bits. Or at least FDM's working for us. How's this poll? Okay, so this is looking 50-50 here. 57% are bearish so far.
They have their reasons.
9%. It's making me want to take some longs.
I was just about to say that. That's what Sheldon said.
I think at 60% bears, we're going to start looking for longs, guys. Hello from Malaysia. There's people coming in from Sweden. How's it, guys? Somebody got FTM and render. Render and ETH was stopped. Got FTM. Yeah, render. I got stopped on render as well. I'm still holding my FTM. We're going to update these charts that we gave yesterday, guys. So we're going to be able to give you some new entries potentially. And we're looking at a few possible shorts building up as well. So
yeah.
Okay, so while this poll's coming through, okay, we have 58% bearish. So it's almost time to fire up these longs. So guys, there's a lot happening in the market this week. So we're not playing with just charts at the moment. There's a lot of like external factors affecting things. One of the main ones we're dealing with is tomorrow we got CPI data coming out. We're obviously looking for some bullish CPI news so that we can fire up even more longs here. But things can go either way. So we need to be aware of that. And then there's something going on in the US that's got a big impact in the markets with the debt ceiling. Yep. For those of you who aren't familiar with it, Bruce is sitting here with us. He'll give you guys a quick rundown as to why it's important and how it can affect our setup. So Bruce, if you want to just chat over that debt ceiling quickly.
Sure. Yeah, for those of you who aren't in the US, the United States has a law that basically is a self-imposed pain, which requires Congress to increase the debt limit when the government debt reaches its current level. And every time that happens, there's political noise, and people start to try and use that as a negotiating tool, and it causes a lot of stress. This happens over and over again through the decades, and up until now, people really don't worry that the debt ceiling is not going to get authorized and increased. But this time, because of the political winds, there's a pretty decent number of people in Congress who actually are willing to burn the house down in order to make their point. So for those of you in the US, you'll know this, and those overseas, you should know this, is that the news is not, financial news is not dominated by CPI numbers and inflation anymore. People aren't talking about that much, but they are pretty darn nervous about the debt ceiling. And if the debt ceiling is not increased, I think the date is June 1st right now. Basically that'll throw the whole global economy into a complete mess.
So it's not like it's D-Day tomorrow.
The US always pays its bills. Yeah, it's going to get increasingly worse until they fix it, if they fix it.
Okay, but we've got a couple of weeks, so that is something to keep an eye on. That can have some obviously some bad effects on the market. Unless you're short.
And I promise, by the way, Dylan, that if they do fix it, I'll come over here with a hat and wave my hand and go, woohoo, we're done.
I'm saving that. We clipping this out.
Yeah. As you both, Chris and I, do that.
So we got CPI and we got the debt ceiling issue that we're dealing with. Let's just take a quick look at Sheldon's BTC chart that he shared on the show today. Let me just share this with you guys. So this is just to give you guys a general view as to where we feel we are currently and what we think is happening. So this is the BTC 12 hour. So Sheldon's watching the support zone here, 26,700, this sort of region is the main area that he's watching before he starts panicking. So, you know, if we lose this, his general feeling is we're going to get to 25 pretty quickly. So these are the areas, this is sort of a key level we're sitting at now. If we get a push up, which is what we are expecting in BTC, you can see this 12 hours busy resetting, the 12-hour stock at the bottom. Just take a look at the 4 hour. It's 4 hours starting to turn up. So the signs are there that we're going to get a move up. We obviously can't predict exactly how high it's going to be, but we can give a guide here. So we're looking at this trend as sort of our first stop. So if we get a decent push, we're looking for a move up to this trend, and then we're going to reassess from there and see where we are. If we get this move up to the trend, it's obviously going to pull all these alts with us. And it's going to put these alts in some interesting areas of resistance as well. So we can look into that now, which will lead us into a few shorts that we're looking at. If we get a break of this trend, Sheldon's next main area is this zone up here. Okay, so that's 35. So both these levels are still on the table. Leading into CPI tomorrow, we're expecting some type of green. And then if the data's neutral or bearish, probably a rejection, but we're just going to have to monitor it then and see sort of where we are. Fefe, you got some views on BTC. How does this chart look to you?
Look, as you said, it's very, very important to really emphasize that trading is very important. In trading is very important to know when not to trade, right? So it's very, very important to just sit and look. And this is exactly what I'm doing right now. I have a tiny short on Bitcoin, but I have it for like 3 days now. So I don't know how that will go. I think we have a lot of liquidity to the upside, but in general, basically what Sheldon is saying, if we lose this area, this 27-ish area, it's probably 26,000 could be a great reversal, because we could just wick all the liquidity. And then obviously 25, both psychological level and also technical level. So but hopefully we'll test. What I can say, this is my view. If we do not go to 25K now and collect all the massive liquidity that we have to the downside, that means that when we're going to get to 31K, 30,500, 31K, I'm going to be very cautious in longing, because it can happen what we also saw, that we went up to this 29,000 region, and within 4 hours we dumped back down. So yeah, it's a decision time. And also what Bruce is saying, it really depends on macro. So we'll see what this brings.
Yeah, so it's not like a normal sort of trading environment this week. So we need to understand that there's a lot of external factors here that could affect things. There's also some FUD going around. I'm not sure if that's been resolved yet, but there was something going on in Binance, I believe, or something.
That was the Bitcoin network congested, basically. So transaction good, and then they just stopped it. And yesterday, what is big is that Bittrex went bust. So Bittrex filed for Chapter 11.
Again, some more FUD for us to deal with, but the markets are green, so it's quite interesting. They're a little bit green, but they've shaken off this this FUD quite easily. It's almost like they expected it.
Totally.
Right, so report card from yesterday. The Sniper team gave 3 trade setups. We had ETH, we had Render, and we had FTM. So I think we had a 66%er. Not bad. I'd say that's more than a pass. So let's just take a look at these. Max, do you want to start with your ETH setup?
Yeah, I can start. Definitely.
Yeah. Just give us an update as to where we are. Is the trade still good? What's the story? Where are you putting your stop loss, etc., etc.?
Cool. Yeah, for sure. Let's just pop in the chat who got the trade. I gave 3 different entries for the trade yesterday, and we got stopped on the first one if you had taken it. The second entry was a banger. If you're in there on the second entry, you should be at least 2% up on spot without leverage. So let's just quickly have a look, and I'm going to pop on my glasses so we can get going. Just read the comments there, Dill, if you can. Just check if anyone got it.
I saw somebody got stopped on Render and ETH. They got FTM as well.
Some people got
Look,
at 1820.
Yeah, that 1820 entry was power. So, you know, it went down
1820.
quite quickly. So hopefully
Okay.
they were waiting for it and they grabbed it.
Okay,
Somebody from Turkey got stopped on Render.
just let me know if you can see the charts and we can go over what happened.
Yeah. Okay, look at that wick. Jeez.
Guys, there was the entry. Look at that. Okay, well, let's look at the first one. I just got rid of the word. We had entry over here, written over here. So this where the initial entry was, and just for reference, when we started the show yesterday, it was 2 o'clock-ish, so we were over here. You probably might have entered on this first wick over here, because this is where I did tell you that the first entry would be. But remember, guys, I told you you had to break your entry up into 3 parts. Whatever you were willing to risk on this trade, it was divided by 3 because we had 3 different entries. So you would have been stopped out of this first one with this big candle, and if you had watched, you would have got a perfect entry at the aggressive entry, right? We then pushed up, we hit the trend, we set a lower high, higher low, sorry, in relative to this one over here, and we've broken trend. So anyone that has got into this trade at the aggressive entry box, my stop loss would already be moved up. I don't want to come back down here at all. We've broken the trend. I would have my stop underneath this wick, actually even this wick now, and I'm going to explain why. It's not much difference, but so what's happened now is we've broken trend, but you can also see that there isn't much momentum. When you break a trend line, you kind of want to see explosion sort of happen because there's this like liquidity buildup, money sitting above you, and you want to be taking out that money pretty quickly when you break a trend line. So the fact that we broke out, we've come and we've retested, this is all fine still, but we need to see the price start pushing up. So I wouldn't want to see the price drop below this green candle, which is sitting at 1834. So anything below that, I think this trade might go bust. So I would have my stop loss here. If you did enter in this box, good for you. I would also be very tight underneath here. I don't want to see the price push below this anymore.
What percent is that, Max?
So
let's say you got in the middle. Let's say you got in the middle of that trend break. What's the percent down?
So we're only 0.6% at most.
Okay, and then the next red candle. Well, let's see what that one is. Just pull that down a little bit there.
0.7475.
Okay. And then the absolute low there, the 1810 or whatever.
That's almost 2%.
Okay, so yeah, those are your options depending on your leverage. So yeah. I would say if you're a high leverage trader, you obviously want to run it tighter. If you got low level spot, you could probably get away with a stop under that low from yesterday.
So yeah, I think what Dylan is saying is valid, and I'm being quite aggressive with my stop loss just because if you look where ETH is now relative to where Bitcoin is, okay, ETH's already broken its trend. And I'm just going to quickly switch to my Bitcoin chart so you can see where Bitcoin is at in relation. Check, Bitcoin hasn't broken its trend yet. So what I would expect Bitcoin to do from here is potentially keep pushing up, hit this trend, and we're going to come down one more time. And then it's about, do we set the lower high or an equal low? If we do, that's bullish. If we don't, everything's going to drop. So for me, for now, I'm trying to keep it tight on ETH. I'd rather get stopped out over here and then try get another entry if we set some sort of double bottom pattern. You know what I mean? So,
okay,
I'll rather re-enter again.
So we've got a couple of questions saying, can we enter now? So it's a no.
Yeah, it's a no.
Okay. So now's not like an optimal entry situation if you're looking for a position. So you're either going to wait for a pullback then, or what's the next option?
Okay, so guys, so this is, we don't have to fear because we've got options for everything right now. So first option would have been last night. If you were watching the stream, this was the great entry. Those that got it, well done. You up, you safe. You could make a little bit of profit if we do get stopped out here. So you risk free essentially. Second option is we waiting for this thing to break down again, because I think Bitcoin's going to push one more time down if we don't carry on this momentum up. It's going to have, that's just how charts work. It goes up towards a trend line. It usually tests the trend line before breaking it, so it'll come down once, right? Okay, so If that happens, East going to pull back down towards this box, and then you want to watch if it closes below this candle, it's you game over. But anything within this candle, it counts as a double bottom.
You go again.
Just watch. You wait for price to settle. You don't just FOMO in when it gets there. You wait for price to settle, and if it chills out, you can take a crack at it.
So okay, I like that. And just remember, below that wick, if it dips below that 1810 level, there'll be a few stops there. So
Big time, and it'll accelerate.
Just be aware, like it can dump really quickly. So just be aware of that, guys.
Okay, and
the
then
dog's getting a lot of attention. Whose dog is that?
They muted themselves.
It's not me. I'm at the studio. It's definitely not me.
Well,
okay, and then
he's long.
Yeah. Okay, so those are the long situations. If you're feeling bearish, which I think everyone's sort of getting that mindset now.
Okay, hold on. So let's finish the update and then let's fire off these short setups. So
cool.
I'm gonna definitely take an award today for the losing trade of yesterday.
The render.
Sometimes we just got to wear these things, and we got to own them. So let's open up this render.
Yeah. Okay, your turn.
Here it comes. Okay, so this is exactly why we use stops in these situations. We can't tell the future, but we can use technicals to give us a guide as to where we think we're going to be. I really like this render area. There were a few reasons which I explained why I liked it, but unfortunately we lost it and we hit our stop. So I entered the render trade in two sort of areas. One of them was a little bit higher up, and then right at 1800 I took I added to my position, and then I got stopped out now this morning. So it turned out to be a fairly tight stop, but this has now given me an opportunity, two opportunities here. So the first one that I'm looking at is a potential move to the downside and a bounce over here. So this will be my next render entry, which I'm going to take if we get this low. I'm going to explain it in more detail now. Another option, this old support region now for render is now going to be a resistance zone, which we need to be aware of. So if we get a move up from here, this area is going to start behaving like quite strong resistance. So there's a potential, I'm not going to short this, but there is a potential short in this region here now that we have this resistance area. So there's two sort of scenarios. I'm just going to delete this chart now, so we don't need this one anymore. I want to show you this possible setup here. I'm just going to move to the daily quickly for you guys. The reason I like a bounce at that lower level I showed you was that we might have a head and shoulders situation playing out here. So I'm going to pull the 618 here. Sorry, I've got all these things in front of my screen. Okay, so this is something that could play out. So if we pull into this lower region now for our second entry zone, we could get a bounce here up to the 618, and that would complete something like that, which you've probably seen before, like a head and shoulders scenario. So that is something that could be playing out. So if render drops lower to that region, that'll be my makeup trade, basically. So I've taken a loss there. I got stopped out. If we move lower, I'm taking that entry, and that's hopefully going to earn back my losses plus some more. So just keep an eye on render. Maybe set an alarm down there in this region at 1.66, somewhere there. Just set an alarm so you know. And then that's the region I'm watching for my next render play. Okay, so here's FDM. So yesterday we looked at FTM. There were a few reasons I gave for the long. One of them was the 200-day moving average. We had the 786 fib, and we also had this lower sort of support trend coming down, which I quite liked. It went straight into our zone. I bought FTM in 3 zones, right at the top, one in the middle, and one lower down. And then we pumped up. To zoom in for you guys. Okay, so we pumped up quite quickly, and I used that opportunity to take 20% off the table. We moved up to about there. So I just took a little bit off the table, and I've moved my stop to entry. So anyone who got this entry on FTM, my personal stop is now at entry. So it's a risk-free trade for me. There is still obviously a possibility that we get a pullback, and that will give us that similar double bottom that Max was talking about in his ETH trade. So just be aware of that. It is possible. I just wanted to eliminate risk for myself. But if we get that Bitcoin push up from where we are now, I don't see any reason why this won't play out into our TP. And then once we're here, we reassess and we potentially look for shorts, or we'll cut a bit. Hopefully the live will sort of coincide with where we are, and then we can see if there's a second trade for those that missed FTM.
Someone asked there, do we use limit orders for entries?
So it depends on the situation. So like yesterday, I manually entered render, but I had limit orders set for FTM. I try not to, I wouldn't want to have limit orders set for like multiple trades, because if things go south, then like you can get wrecked like pretty quickly. So I was just very confident about FTM. So I preset like in stages my buys. Obviously, I was sweating a little bit when it dipped a bit lower there. When it goes red, you really get like a bit of squeaky bum time, but you just need to back your areas, so it held for us, and now it's a risk-free trade for me.
So just to explain to everyone, the good thing about the limit orders, if you got a zone like Dylan's got at the bottom there, you can spread out your entry throughout that box, because you don't know exactly where it's going to bounce, but you know that in that box, well, you're hoping somewhere in that box, your analysis says the trend is going to change there. So you spread out your entries at different percentages, like 10% in an entry. And that way your order price comes down as the price comes down, and you don't have to try and guess and then market execute your entry. For trend line breaks, we often use market execution because it's quite a fast thing, and you got to kind of be aware when you never know when the trend's going to break. So those ones you'll usually market execute. But limits are cool.
Yeah. So and also just box. Sorry, carry on.
Somebody asked, where do we get the box?
The box.
Yeah, the box
on TradingView.
Yeah.
Well, you go here on the paintbrush on the left. I hope this is the question. I hope I'm answering it. You click on rectangle.
That's the question.
You create your box, and then you can double click on it, and you can type whatever you want inside. Choose the font.
You can also change the color.
Yeah. You can change the colors. All that stuff. Somebody said more interesting is how do you create the box? We are for trading.
How do you know where to put the box? That's what they say.
It's magic, guys. So no, this is what we're teaching. It's not
just draw boxes everywhere until one works.
You just go box. So look, we have our areas that we like. As you trade and you get that screen time, and you use everything that Sheldon's teaching in the course, you're going to see how these areas all sort of tie in with one another. And then it becomes easier. It becomes second nature. You start seeing it quite quickly. Like in the beginning, it's like super confusing. It must look like sort of magic sometimes, the way these things react. But it's screen time, and just keep applying what you're learning in the school.
I think a big way to understand a box is that the box is not just the price that he's looking at there. The box extends left all the way over to price that coincides with the box. I don't know if that made sense. I might have made that confusing. But his boxes with other levels that he's seeing on the chart as well.
Yeah. So you'll see our general sort of setups. We look for areas of support, resistance, and then you can add your boxes. Like you can see, this entry box actually extends all the way down over here, you can see
Exactly.
we've had support. So like these are signs that I look for when I'm looking for a bounce. I look for things like this. You know, you can go quite far back in time. There's some powerful levels further back. You'll probably find in 2020. Yeah, look here. This is this is still July 22. But you'll see there's areas like that. So they just give you signs. You know?
Yeah, should we get into some juicy shorts?
So yeah, updates are done. Yeah, render you got the next entry, you know where it's coming potentially. Phantom, you sorted. ETH, you know what's happening. Okay, show us your short, Max.
Okay. Let me just, you have to stop sharing there for a sec.
Oh, sorry, bro.
Cool. All right. Okay, guys, or just give me a thumbs up if you can check the screen. You got the screen?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So my short I'm looking at is a potential short on DOT. Reasons that I like this as a short is this yellow trend line. If I just zoom back out, is the main trend, which we've already lost. Okay, we have actually retested already. That would have been ideal. Okay, so you guys, we know about this break of trend, retest, and then off you go. That would have been perfect. But I do like that there's quite a solid level over here. And if you look at this big wick that we've printed here, and then this horizontal level, we've been holding that after we broke down, right? And price is pushed down now. So what I would expect is exactly something like this drawing. If Bitcoin decides to do its little pump before the big dump that we all are expecting, I see DOT pushing up towards this horizontal level. You got the trend line that coincides with that, so another resistance. And then for me, I'll be entering my short in this box area, and my stop would be just above this high over here. Let me get a line out for you guys. So this is not this might not play out. We don't know what the heck's going to happen with Bitcoin. But if Bitcoin does push, this is a coin that I'm going to be looking at shorting. It's already lost its major trend. Momentum's to the downside. This is quite a strong level you can see over here. So it should come test that, test the trend line, and then off we go.
What's the percentage there from your entry for the stop, roughly?
Yeah, so these are a little bit bigger. That's why you kind of got to observe and see what happens. But let's pretend we got on the intro. See, there's already like 3% if you getting at the start of the box. So this is a lot less leverage. I would say 2x, 3x on these ones.
Yeah, so yeah, low leverage is best. Well, unless you don't mind, like if you get stopped out on 20x, you're losing 60%.
Exactly.
So, you know, you just need to do your own risk calculations here, guys.
Yeah. So the deeper in the box you can get, and as close to this little high section over here, you can get, the better. So middle of the box to stop loss, there you got 2 or 1 point something percent. That will be a bit better. But yeah, it all depends on Bitcoin now. So I've got my ETH longs playing out for now, and then this is the potential short. But yeah, you can't just enter short from here now. This is just a bad spot to start shorting on all the coins.
So I mean, it's no trade, right? I mean, right now it's like, yeah, there's nothing happening here, long or short. You need to actually let things play out.
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, this is what I'll be looking at. I will post this chart for you guys. I'll send the link for Jackie. So if you want to take it, yeah.
Okay,
that's me, bro.
Nice, Roo. So I've got a very similar looking setup. You're going to find if you track all the major alts, they do have very similar setups. Let's open this. So I'm just zooming out. This is Matic. This is a 12-hour chart. Before I zoom in and just show you exactly what's going on there, I'm looking at old support and resistance areas. So yesterday, Matic lost quite like a big area. So you can see we had support here. It was big support here. Back in December, it was a major resistance zone. was resistance in September. So this is quite like a strong area for Matic. This area has been lost now. Okay. So what I see happening potentially, we've now had this big dip. It happened quite quickly. So, there'd be a lot of stops under here. People had to close their positions, big dip down. I think we're going to get a push up. Okay. Just like Max is saying in his dot trade. So, based on what we're seeing, we're potentially going to get a move up. We don't know how strong it's going to be. Hopefully this will tie in with BTC at that trend I was speaking to earlier. And then I'm going to look for potential short entries in this region. So I've written it in for you guys over there. We'll share it now. The stop, I've said 1.5 to 2%, but again, it's like you actually got to sit and catch this one live. I wouldn't preset limit orders and go to bed and things like that. You want to actually see this thing happening live. So you'll have to gauge. The deeper your entry, obviously, the better. The tighter your stop. So the higher up in this box you can get it would be the better for you. And then also, you've seen this a lot, and I think you saw this on Friday. A lot of these alts will give you a fake out and then rip you back down. So just be aware that you do get these things playing out and they just trap you and then they send you back down. So this is the short setup I'm looking at for Matic. I'll do it live. I'm not going to preset anything. If it's happening, BTC looks right, everything's playing out correctly, I'm going to enter this Matic short. First TP is a 10%, roughly 10%. And then the main area, if this thing really starts dumping, we're looking at about 18 to 20%. So let me just clean this guy up for you.
And that's the same for that dot trade, guys. We'll have a look at it when the time comes. For now, I haven't said anything. You're going to have to watch what price action does when we get to those zones. So don't get too excited about it just yet.
Look, if we get lucky, we're going to get into a situation where we're having a live happening while the market's pumping or dumping, and we can hopefully catch these things. Maybe, let's see how it plays out tomorrow. Okay, so that's my Matic setup. If you go through your own charts, you'll find like a lot of setups like this. So if you want to practice your own chart work and stuff, just pick an alt. You'll see today Sheldon showed quite a few that he was looking for these type of setups. This is Sheldon's AVAX chart from the show today. This is his near chart that he spoke about. So here's his ETH chart, also looking for a move up, potentially. He did warn you on ETH. Obviously, if we lose this lower trend on ETH, we're going to lose it. Look for the retest, then we can short it down. So basically, just keep an eye on that. These are the areas for shorts.
It's important to say, like, what's on that? Go back to the ETH chart. What's on that ETH chart, everybody? You see that 618 up there? Right now, what he's saying is they're expecting it to bounce. They're expecting it to go up and bounce back down. But if it breaks that 618 area, you want to look for a bullish retest. If it doesn't retest that, then the trade is still valid. Because sometimes you might see, like you see on that previous break up to touching that trend line. What is that? Yeah, right there.
Yeah.
So you want to make sure that if it breaks that 618 and it breaks that trend line, you want to see if it's going to retest it. Don't just enter off of it touching the 618 again, because that 618 is the area that it needs to break and hold in order for the trend to start changing.
Yeah. So remember, this is now a big resistance area. So if we break this thing and we settle in here, then you can get your long over there. But right now, just based on what we're assuming, we're looking for a move up, and then as a first prize, and then we're going to look for exits or shorts in these areas.
I want to say that because Meezy said, does this need to be tested on the 12-hour? So I was just kind of trying to, answer a question.
Yeah. Thanks, Chris. Cool, guys. So, hopefully that's going to sort you guys out for the next 24 hours as to what we're looking for. Chris, Jackie, anybody, Fefe, do you guys have a setup that you want to chat about?
I'm going, me personally, I'm going to let the charts develop a little bit more before before I give out any setups or before I even go back to rechart, because a lot of the setups that I had, they kind of blew through.
It's a good call as well.
I'm totally with Chris on that.
New York market opens in 45 minutes. So we'll get a better sense of which of these are going to play out and which are not in the next hour.
But also, if I may add, I just really think that we should just stay away from charts for the next. This is me. I got burned a lot of times trading these events. It's just worth much more just stepping aside, and just watching what happens. Charts will develop the next couple of days, and then maybe look. I will start looking at serious positions probably later this week, end of this week, or even maybe Monday or Tuesday.
100%. So I think those that caught those trades that we gave yesterday, if you're well in profit, I think the message we're giving is your stops need to be tight or at break even already. If the shorts do come into play that we've given, you kind of got to wait and just see what the market does, because no one knows what's going on. There's numbers coming out. Price is going to get crazy over the next 24, 48 hours. So let's just sit back and relax. If you're in it, enjoy it. If you're not, don't FOMO. You're going to get your chance.
Yeah, just be patient. That's the one.
And then I saw some people asking about the hedging thing. We will, guys, when a position comes up that we can hedge, when I use that strategy, I will teach you guys. I don't want to go over it now. It takes quite a bit of concentration to get right. But I will, when we get a nice position that has a hedging opportunity, I will show you guys how to do it. There's different ways to hedge. But I've got some cool techniques to teach you guys when that comes, but it's not for today.
We're longing and shorting on the same day.
Yeah, so you stop out of the one position and let the other one play, but you got to do it at precise moments. You can't just go from anywhere.
Look, it's fun. Definitely,
it works. That's actually my most profitable trades when I hedge normally.
Okay, sweet. Well, let's talk about that. We should actually have a segment on that, because it's quite interesting how you can make it work for yourself. Okay, sweet, guys. Thanks, everybody.
Cheers, guys. Shot for the day. We'll check you guys again tomorrow. Same time, same place.
Catch you tomorrow.
Take care, guys. Take care.
Max.
Yo.
Glasses.
Speedy Conzili, bro.
How late you usually be up, Max?
Sorry?
I said, how late you usually be up when you at home?
How late I used to be at?
No. I said, how late are you up when you're at home?
Well, like at night?
Yeah.
Yo, I go to bed early, dude. Like 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock.
Let me see. What time is that for me? That's like 2 o'clock.
Yeah, it's probably in the RV for you sometime. I do a lot of like sports and surfing during the day, so I get tired like laying quickly. Okay, guys, I got to bounce. Cheers, guys.
All right, man.